An officer-involved death before the new year leaves a family wanting answers. I'm Tanasia Shaw, reporting on the family that is asking for justice.
That progress becomes a little bit trickier without federal support, but we will continue to make progress because that's what we do in Dane County.
Plus, President Trump's flurry of executive orders have several environmental implications, the impacts they could have here in Dane County.
It makes it hard to teach them when they're worried about survival.
And later, school safety on the minds of many parents after last month's deadly school shooting in Madison. How educators are working to keep students feeling safe and being safe. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening, I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson.
We start with an exclusive interview. Back on New Year's Eve, a Madison man named Richard Johnson died in police custody.
And the family is still questioning how he died, saying the Department of Justice is not being transparent. Our Tanasia Shaw sat down with the victim's mother.
He was a very loving person. It's a lot of hearsay.
Gloria Johnson Vincent misses her son. Richard Johnson is the youngest of 7 siblings. He didn't make it to see 2025.
He worked hard. He was setting goals. He wanted to be a businessman.
According to the Wisconsin Department of Justice, on December 30th, Madison Police Department responded to a car theft at a hotel on Madison's east side. Richard Johnson led responding officers on a foot chase. Once officers caught up to Johnson, they arrested him and called EMS to respond to the scene. The DOJ said they did not use any weapons.
I didn't find out till the next morning.
EMS evaluated Johnson at the scene, then MPD sent Johnson to jail. The DOJ said once Johnson arrived at the jailhouse, he was unresponsive. His mother was beside him during those last moments.
He was bleeding out his mouth. He was bleeding out the rectum. He had internal bleeding. He had like 3 knocks on the back of his head. His right arm was like he had scratches and scrapes, like defensive wounds. The top of his head was really soft, like when a baby is first born.
The next day, on New Year's Eve, Johnson died at a Madison hospital. The family told me that Johnson had a substance abuse issue in the past.
But my thing is, if he OD'd, why didn't y'all take him to the emergency room?
Johnson's family is searching for answers. Right now, we don't know why the medics were called to the scene or what prompted medics to clear Johnson to go to jail.
They should be held accountable for what they did. I don't care what a person do, they don't deserve to lose their life.
I reached out to the DOJ and the medical examiner's office for answers, but I have not heard back yet. Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
The Goodman Community Center's former vice president is charged with multiple felony charges related to theft and movable property and forgery at the center. The Dane County DA charged Dwayne Powell for embezzling more than $600,000 over 3 years. He allegedly used credit cards to pay for gambling at Ho-Chunk casinos in Madison and Baraboo. The center found out about Powell's alleged crimes during an internal review, after which they told Madison police. Goodman says it's made changes to its financial policies to further protect its money and says neither donations nor grant money was involved in these alleged crimes.
And now to the Wisconsin Supreme Court, where conservative Justice Brian Hagedorn says he is recusing himself from the landmarked Act 10 case the court is set to hear later this year. That case will decide the future of the 2011 law, which eliminated many collective bargaining rights from public sector unions in the state. The law was a major achievement of former Republican Governor Scott Walker. Now, during that time, Hagedorn was Walker's chief legal counsel, and he also helped defend the law in court. This recusal gives liberals a 4-2 majority on the case. Republicans lawmakers are also calling on another liberal justice, Janet Protasewicz, to recuse herself on the case as well.
In Washington, the fight continues over efforts to purge diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the federal government. Dane County Congressman Mark Pocan, hearing concerns from voters in Madison over the policy, spoke with reporters today about what the rhetoric is like right now on Capitol Hill.
Right, all they're doing is appealing back to the base, and a large part of the MAGA base is racist. So this is the dog whistle for those folks to understand that Donald Trump is doing something for them, when in reality, we still have a lot of work to do to have equality in this country.
Congressman Pocan also warned about the possibility of further cuts to the federal government, as he says Republicans are looking to create new tax cuts.
Well, it certainly feels a lot more like spring than middle of winter today. We have the first warm forecast with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. You get to go outside.
I do get to go outside. We're on the same wavelength. Just a week ago, I couldn't even be out on the patio because we had such bitterly cold temperatures. We had wind chills as cold as -40 last Tuesday morning. And here today, right now at this very hour at 6 o'clock, it's still nearly 50 degrees in Madison, 50 in Janesville, 42 in the Wisconsin River Valley, 37 to the north up towards Camp Douglas. We saw unprecedentedly warm high temperatures today. More on that in just a minute. 5 zeros and 4 nines across all of Dane County right now. Beautiful evening. The winds are even light as we plan your evening. Temperatures staying into the 30s with some clouds building in as we get a little bit later into the evening across parts of southern Wisconsin. Future Track trying to bring a couple showers up towards Janesville. Coming up in Maine weather, we're going to track those showers and see how far north those showers are going to get into southern Wisconsin. And there's more record warmth that we're going to talk about, and also more about the extended temperatures beyond Groundhog's Day. Hopefully we don't have cold weather like Jan sending us, reminding us on this very morning too, even though we had record highs today. Back in 1951, it was -37. How cold will the temperatures be in the 10-day forecast? I have that answer too in just a couple of minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex. Well, it's only week 2 of his second term, and President Trump has already reversed many climate efforts from the Biden administration,
including an executive order removing the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accords, targeting former President Biden's efforts to expand electric vehicle production, and declaring a national energy emergency, which allows the government to use private land and resources to get oil and gas.
Our Ellie LaLiberte breaks down what it all means for Dane County.
We're in an environment that is increasingly at risk for climate catastrophes.
Kathy Kuntz is the director of Dane County's Office of Energy and Climate Change.
We have to get serious about reducing emissions and really move toward progress, not arguing about whether or not there's a problem.
After the Trump administration's flurry of actions to undo Biden's clean energy goals, she's now working to clear up confusion.
The reality is those projects should finish because all of the incentives are still in place today.
She says for those with ongoing projects, there's no need for panic just yet.
I think right now, the uncertainty and all the noise about it might be over discourages people. Like the people on the edge are like, oh, it's too late. And so that's a problem.
For the past couple of years, Kuntz says her department has received support through the Inflation Reduction Act, which helps it pay for local government and nonprofits' clean energy projects. But that could be on the chopping block during Trump's administration.
It's a bigger lift for our communities to not get a 30% credit from the federal government. It means they have to pay for all of it.
She says that could be a barrier to low and moderate income households from getting high efficient appliances. The county, however, promising to help wherever it can.
I would rather have federal support, but I also think we know how to do this when we're the ones leading.
Reporting in Dane County, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Still ahead at 6, keeping students safe at school.
When we come back, a look at what some school districts and safety officials are doing to prevent another tragedy in Wisconsin.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Last month, a 15-year-old shot and killed 2 and injured 6 others at Abundant Life Christian School. And as the Madison community continues to grieve, News 3 Now is looking to answer questions about the state of safety in our schools.
In a special report tonight, our Maddie Heimsch walks us through the hallways, taking a look at what local schools are doing to keep staff and students safe.
Got a call coming in at Abundant Life Christian Church for a shooter, just advising someone was shot.
Copy. Let's make this an active shooter incident.
3 words no educator wants to hear.
We all do prepare for it.
But rings in their minds from the first bell to the last.
Nothing you do to prepare will make sure that it will never happen to you.
And the front entrance to the back.
No one can ever guarantee 100% safety.
Administrators tell me they work each day to prevent active shooter incidents. Gina Aguglia is the director of critical response at the Madison Metropolitan School District.
Having a camera system, having access control, locks on the doors, badges to get in and out of certain locations and spaces.
Dan Kieser, district administrator for the Stoughton Area School District.
We have secured entrances in all of our buildings. All of our volunteers go through background checks.
Paul Gessner is the Edgewood Campus School President.
We train our teachers for active shooter scenarios.
And Trish Kilpin, director of the Office of School Safety.
We make sure that they complete the legislatively required items that they have to do to show that they're training and planning.
Those legislatively required items: a map of the school, a copy of the school safety plan, the date of their annual violence drill, proof of the most recent staff training, and proof of a site assessment with law enforcement. But safety plans and procedures haven't always occupied the halls.
It is all spelled out now in a way that I don't know was as detailed 20 years ago.
School safety has really come from fire and tornado drills to fire tornado drills. What do you do when you see a suspicious person, and if there is a safety threat? How do you lock and secure, or how do you flee?
When violence prevention was just starting to make its way into schools following Columbine, the first building blocks were physical.
We started by thinking about how do you harden the exterior so that unwanted threats can't make it into the building.
But today, with almost 1,000 K-12 school shootings reported in the last 3 years,
Most students are thinking about school safety and thinking about potential school shootings regularly. They're walking into a classroom and thinking about what their first step would be if an emergency arose.
educators say they're working to balance the equation of students being safe and feeling safe.
Making sure that people aren't feeling like they're in a space that's not welcoming and not inclusive.
Not make school feel like a fortress.
Embedding social emotional work and mental health practices into lesson plans.
We realize it's about how do we work with our students in order to ensure that they all feel seen and heard.
We really focus a lot on relationship building and really ensuring that there's a strong climate and culture of welcoming practices in each of our buildings.
Wisconsin also has a statewide reporting system through the Office of School Safety.
Then we're able to accurately assess that and create a plan that keeps that school safe and gets that child the help that they need.
In hopes of hearing less of those three words.
Let's make this an active shooter incident.
And seeing more future graduates.
It makes it hard to teach them when they're worried about survival.
Reporting in Madison, Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maddie. We've also learned that one of the 2 students wounded in the ALCS shooting has been released from the hospital. The other student is still in good condition. Now, still ahead, Mother Nature is on the move. Why ice fishermen need to take caution.
Plus, time is running out for the community baby shower, what we still need and how you can help out.
And record or near record warmth, we could record it, is also expected over the weekend. Alex returns with the complete forecast next.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. Our community baby shower is still looking for you to help to make it a success. News 3 Now and Madison nonprofit Babies and Beyond are once again teaming up to help hundreds of families in need when it comes to pregnancies and babies. Now, one of those people is Danielle Smith here. She and her family are among the hundreds who've been benefiting from the services of Babies and Beyond. The wife and mom of 4 says she's been able to prepare for each of her babies with the help of the nonprofit. Smith says donations from the community allow essentials like diapers, wipes, clothing, and big ticket items to be free of charge.
Being able to secure, a bassinet, being able to secure diapers and wipes and things like that, having that extra added support was one way that it really prepared me for my first son. The peace of mind.
And look at that little sweetie. Some of the items needed most include girls' winter clothing, diapers size 5 and up, pull-ups, baby wipes, and formula. Now you can drop these all off at the Babies and Beyond Donation Center on South Stoughton Road in Madison. We have all the details as well on our website, channel3000.com.
All right, the recent high winds around Wisconsin are creating what's known as ice shoves on some lakes. This is video from Shawano Lake up north. As temperatures rise, the ice expands. When it drops, well, it contracts and causes some cracks to form. And when the strong winds come into play, they shove those sheets of ice toward the shoreline. And while the conditions for ice shoves have been perfect, it can also be rather dangerous. Ice shanties not properly strapped down can also be sent flying, putting those out on the ice in harm's way. For more on the weather across southern Wisconsin on this record breaker, Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington, he got a question from a viewer.
I'm Jason from Sun Prairie. Hey, Alex, how was the weather?
Well, hey there, Jason. Nice to meet you. How's the weather in Sun Prairie? Well, I hope you got a chance to get outside today, but if not, you can enjoy the evening. Temperatures 45 right now. Few clouds will be building in, and at 10 o'clock, temperatures are still going to be 36 degrees outside in Sun Prairie. Again, nice to meet you there, Jason. We had record high temperatures across much of southern Wisconsin today. Just look at some of these communities. Madison at 57. We had Lone Rock, the Dells, La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, seeing temperatures across southern Wisconsin between the upper 50s to 61 in Bosqueville. That's the warmest one that I can find here on our map, but as warm as 55 in Janesville and 57 in the Dells, and Sun Prairie, you were probably pretty close to 57 too. Right now, 49 in Madison, 35 in Lone Rock. Clear skies, the Wisconsin River Valley tends to cool down pretty quickly. 37 in the Dells and 44 in Monroe. A lot of 49s, a couple 50s here, 50 in Verona, 49 just behind me here, and our friends down the road in Stoughton. It's a mild evening. The evening is going to stay mild with just a few clouds building in by the time you join us at our 10 o'clock newscast with temperatures at 37 degrees. That's 10 degrees above our normal high temperature for this time of year, as I continue to emphasize. Lows tonight in the 30s to 30 to 35, or 30 to 35, with just a couple of showers expected to try to sneak up towards Monroe, Janesville, maybe getting up as far north as Madison if you're lucky. Then those temperatures tomorrow, as those showers end for Madison, points off towards the south. We'll get into the lower 40s once again. So cool down day, but certainly still above normal this time of year. Future Track tries to get those showers stretching from, let's say, Darlington over towards Monroe and Janesville around midnight. They try to move north, but the weather system scoots to the south. So I think if there's any sprinkle or shower activity, it's going to stay south of Madison towards Janesville over towards Elkhorn, and then we will clear out as we go into Friday. Then yet another weather system is on the way, a weak one as we go into Saturday evening, going on into Groundhog's Day Sunday. That brings a couple snow showers across southern Wisconsin during the evening hours of Sunday, stretching from Mineral Point to the Dells up towards Marquette and Green Lake counties as we head towards midnight. But it's quick, and I'm not expecting significant accumulations as we get to Sunday morning, that all-important time right around 7 o'clock. Cloudy skies, so Jimmy in Sun Prairie right now, probably not going to see Jimmy's shadow on Sunday morning unless we can get those clouds to clear out a little bit sooner. After our Groundhog's Day Sunday, with temperatures approaching near record highs of 48, then we see normal temperatures for February. We have a little weather system next Wednesday. Could bring some wintry mixed precipitation to southern Wisconsin. And we still had that snow drought. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to show that snow drought and how widespread it is across all of southern Wisconsin and the state of Wisconsin. But all we had is 1.9 inches of snow during the month of January. And if you want me to give you your own personal forecast, just submit your weather video to channel3000.com. You can try the First Warn Weather app as well. You can Facebook message me or email tips@channel3000.com. All you have to do is just say your name, your location, and hey, Alex, how's the weather? We'll be right back.
Through 20 games last season, Wisconsin was 16-4, and then they hit that late season slide, closing out the regular season, losing 8 of 11. Through 20 games this season, the Badgers were 16-4, and then they started the back half of the regular season with a road loss at Maryland. Will history repeat itself? Well, probably not, and Greg Gard, well, he's not interested in any of it.
Play the next game. I don't worry about other years, Mike, you've been around me long enough to on to the next game. We got to get ready for Northwestern, and they're going to be a handful. So it's making sure we keep getting better.
And just a reminder to check out this week's Wisconsin Huddle on Friday at 6:30. But first, here's a sneak peek at this week's Unleashed with Carter Gilmore. It's round 2 of darts, and the sequel was not as good as the original for one of us. And welcome into this week's Wisconsin Huddle Unleashed. I'm Zach Hanley alongside Carter Gilmore. It's round 2 with darts. Your revenge tour?
I'm 1-0, right? Or no?
I need this.
No pressure.
Redemption.
Oh! Can we get a toe on the line? Can we get a replay toe on the line?
No, I don't think so. If you lose to me twice at darts, you probably should just retire.
Yeah.
Oh, this is revenge tour.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
This is going to be quick. It wasn't as quick as that, but
Pretty
he
quick.
beat me. Yeah.
He won. His arm length, little. He gets a little closer to that thing than you do. He's got a little advantage.
He's cheating.
Cheating, that's right.
Let's go to Alex. Final check of the forecast.
Final check. I just want to throw this out there too. Our days are getting longer. We had a record-breaking warm day today of 57, going for 48 on Groundhog's Day Sunday. That's going to be pushing that record high of 51. Sent back in 2020. Maybe a rain or snow shower tomorrow morning south of Madison and north of Madison on Saturday night. As we go into next week, normal weather, normal returns.
That's okay. Days getting longer. We'll take it.
Yes.
Alex, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
We'll see you at 10 o'clock.